Hi guys, I have a tutorial using the Urban Decay Naked3 palette, and it kind of all collaborates with this fallout technique, getting rid of fallout technique. So I'm taking a pressed setting powder, or actually this is a loose one. You could take a pressed one, it would be a lot less messy. This was kind of a messy process. This is also kind of similar to the baked technique that everybody's talking about lately, where you put like a setting powder like this, or you could do this with a powder foundation, I think is what a lot of people are using, and they're pressing it into their, exactly what I'm doing, and leaving it on for like 10 minutes, and it kind of, your skin warms it up and heats it up, and it stays. Oh my god, that does not look, it looks like 1985 on my face. So you're gonna take it, work it up, but yeah, it's getting see, yeah, pressed powder would have been nice here. But yeah, that technique's getting a lot of, apparently it photographs just beautifully. But yeah, it's not something, I feel like it gives me too much of a reverse raccoon eye effect, so it just doesn't work for me in my face. I'll sit there. Just use that technique with the powder brush. So I took my Naked 3 palette, probably my favorite out of all of them, honestly. And I'm taking the shade called Trick, and that's what I'm going to put on my lid with just the brush, that came in the box. You don't need anything crazy fancy for packing on powder, as long as it's, a well-cut brush. There's definitely some bad brushes out there. But yeah, you're just going to pack on the product. I definitely notice fallout with this, not as much as when I blend, especially with shadows like Urban Decay. It's a really, really pigmented powder, so you're going to get a lot of fallout with it. And so, yeah, then follow up on the other eye. But yeah, I get a lot too when I'm blending. I feel like I almost get more fallout. And I mean, nothing is worse than fallout on, I have under eye circles like a mofo. Nothing is worse when you have fallout that happens on a freshly done face. Especially, there's so many, if you don't set it, there's so many tacky kind of wet concealers out there. Tarte's waterproof creaseless concealer, not a bad concealer, but if you don't set it with the powder, it's terrible. And so I think that's my base. I think it's called the base, Real Techniques brush. And that's what I'm going to use to put on. Nope, I wound up not liking that one. I'm going to take the shade called Mugshot. And this application works really well for, eyes like mine, like squinty, deep set, almond eyes, or mature eyes, droopy lids, any of that. This is going to work great for giving your eyes a natural lift. It's almost like, facelift in a shadow application, which, I think we all can appreciate that. So you're going to take it, and there's basically an invisible 45-degree angle that you're going to take from the outside of your eyeball to the tail of your brow. You can extend your brow with, if you're going to extend your brow, I would recommend a pencil. The Anastasia, they make an excellent brow pencil. And so you're going to take it and, kind of stamp this on. This isn't, this isn't where we're going to blend. So stamp it on at that angle, but don't come too high above the crease or it's not going to look right. And then I took my Wayne Goss number 4 brush. Fantastic for blending. I think this is my favorite one that he put out in the basic collection for blending. And then if you go too far outside of that 45-degree invisible line, which you can certainly, I use my index finger, you could use a tissue, you could use a piece of fabric, whatever you have. Definitely use what you have. It's not something you need to go buy. There's guides you can buy, I guess, but that's a little excess, I think. If you go outside that line, take some eye makeup remover or, moisturizer and just sweep off the excess, go back and blend and put on your foundation. Then I took Black Heart, which is a gorgeous black with a burgundy cast. And this is what I'm going to work into my crease a little bit. I don't go too far into my crease. It just doesn't work for my eyes. If you have really big round eyes, certainly that would be that would be what you'd want to do here. If you had hooded eyes, you could get away with the same thing. But for my eyes, I can't really get away with that. So I'm just not going too far, making an invisible V shape. Well, I guess not an invisible V shape, but pretend like there's a little V there and follow that with your brush. And that's, there's your V. So, yep, we're doing that, blending it at the same time, bringing it up a little bit, but we're not going to bring it up too far, otherwise it's not going to look right. Also, a dupe for this, Coastal Scents has a revealed 3 palette. I've read amazing things about it. They've got like duplicates that for these shadows that are spot on. I've seen them swatched and they look, you can't even tell a difference for most of them. This is the shade Strange, probably one of my favorite highlights, like a baby petal pink. Like it looks like it should be scented like with a rose scent or something. It's fantastic shade. But anyhow, if you bought the Revealed, if you bought the Naked, whatever, this whole shade range is fantastic. Debatably better than Naked, the original palette, which they also, they've got dupes for all 3. So as opposed to spending $54 or, $150 for all 3 palettes, Coastal Scents, I believe, are $10. So that's a big difference. You certainly don't have to use Tartes, you don't have to use high-end products to get high-end looking results. At the end of the day, it's makeup and nobody's going to know, there's no price tag or brand on what you have on your face. So use what you have, use what works for you. I was kind of putting my head up and down so you could see how it kind of definitely portrayed that baked technique on my skin. I could definitely tell afterwards. So anyways, we're just taking our powder brush, or this is my Real Techniques blush brush, whatever you have. e.l.f. has a fantastic complexion brush for $3, and we're brushing away all of that excess translucent setting powder that we put in place, and with that we're getting rid of our shadow. So it's a really fantastic technique. It's like doing something while you're not doing anything. I put some bronzer on because it was too much for me with the highlight. That's all she wrote. Thanks for watching.